Hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Shattered Time Rewind. Previously, MC and Natsuki had quite a nice time together, but then things kind of started taking a turn for the worst. And now MC's kind of worried since the dad's in jail, she's going to be going to her aunt who's a bitter old crab, and he doesn't know what is going on. Anyway, it isn't long after I have dinner and finish my homework that I'm able to settle in for the night. As I lie down, something Joriichiro said earlier kind of echoes in my mind. Girlfriend. Ah, yes. Before going home, he ran into Joriichiro, who called Natsuki his small girlfriend, or something like that. Thinking about it, I've never had an official girlfriend before. Kodano was the closest, but I never told her how I felt or anything. We were close friends, but we were never officially dating or anything. She never even knew about she never even knew about what I was feeling for her, and not like she felt that way about me. Natsuki, on the other hand. A part of me still questions if what we had on Saturday was an actual date or not, but on paper, it checks off most of the boxes. Even Mom was making a huge deal about it before, as if it was a real date. I'm not too sure where Natsuki stands on the matter, but I'll hopefully find out soon. At this point, I don't want to even bother reading the diary now. Not only because it's wrong of me, but I'm just too tired today. After mulling things over, I turn off the lights and try to get some sleep. And so ironically, I was very close to the end of the day, but anyway, June 11th. It has been a full week since, well, a little over a full week since Amy's untimely passing. Natsuki still hasn't called or messaged me back today. I've left her alone as Yuri suggested, but the weight is eating me alive. I managed to get through half of the school day, and now I'm here having lunch with Yuri and Mio, as I'm used to by now. Yuri took it on herself to talk to Mio about everything that happened up until now. If you recall, I did tell you I had my suspicions of how something like this could happen at any time. I'm still uncertain if this is pure coincidence or not, but it could not have happened at a worse time. Wow, you're not joking. I've kept the ring on as much as possible, so there's nothing to worry about there. I'm sorry we had to be so secretive about it though, Daniel. I wanted to tell you, but Yuri swore me to secrecy to avoid freaking you out even more. No need to apologize. I get that. And she's right. Knowing me, I probably would have been losing my mind a lot sooner if I knew all this. The downside is that Yuri's probably right and Toronko's going to just screw things up no matter what I do. I stress that it's just a theory right now. For the time being, we have no concrete evidence that proves my monkey's paw theory. Maybe, but don't forget that I actually met him. Not face to face, but I got to hear his voice and feel that murderous vibe he was giving off. I can't explain it, but considering he straight up lied about Mio dying in that fire, I don't think it'd be too out of character for him to pull some stunt like negative karma either. Oh, that's right. Yeah. If you ask me, he already sounds like a con artist. With that higher intellect of his, he's beyond your average con artist, though. The fact he has access to all this magic power and whatever only makes it even worse. I never likened him to a con artist before, but thinking about it logically. You're right. He's more dangerous than your everyday con man, that's for sure. Are you sure there's nothing we can do? I still haven't managed to find anything specific about this curse. From what I have gathered, it seems as though all these rituals are just his many ways of torturing a human spirit until it breaks. All for his own amusement, I should add. And I'm the fucking lab rat he gets to torture in this little experiment of his. You shouldn't be so hard on yourself, Daniel. A number of his victims all had good intentions when performing these rituals or wishes they wanted to come true. What none of them expected was for Tarankos to lock them into what is essentially a contract full of lies and deception. You just wanted to save Natsuki's life. Unfortunately, Amy seemed to prey on you like an innocent lamb for slaughter and took advantage of that. Damn it, Amy. She's the root cause of this, if you ask me. I still don't understand how she was able to sing some little song to make him do the ritual, but she did it, and that's where we stand now. I don't understand the logistics of it myself, but yes. That song has some magic properties similar to a siren's call, so sadly it seems Daniel was powerless against it. So we're back to square one, basically. I'm not giving up so easily, Daniel. I'm sure there is an answer out there. In the worst-case scenario, I could enlist the help of my Aunt Tsubasa. Kodonoa's mother? Precisely. I held off on doing so, as I didn't want to worry or involve her, but it seems like we might have to take desperate measures. At the very least, I'm hoping she would allow me access to all the ancient texts she inherited from grandmother to do research. Are you sure that's okay? It isn't as though we're estranged, if that's what you mean. In fact, she still checks in on me from time to time when Mother is working overseas. She and my uncle just haven't fully recovered from Kodonoa's death is all. I just hate the idea of putting more stress on her on top of the grief she's already feeling. At the same time, however, I don't see any alternative. In so many ways, I feel like this is beyond me. Considering Mother is unreachable right now, Aunt Tsubasa is the only one I can turn to. I know she'll understand once I explain everything to her, but even so, I wish it didn't come down to this. Seriously. It's too bad there's no way to kill Tarankos or some other way to make him stop doing this crazy shit. Believe me when I say that I'm right there with you. I've heard that some have tried, but they all failed, especially since he's literally untouchable in another universe. Even if you dragged him out to slay him yourself, it would be difficult. As grandmother used to say regarding Tarankos, magic must defeat magic. Modern-day weapons would most likely wouldn't do much against him unless they are blessed or enchanted with some kind of magic. Like maybe a knife made of the metal as those rings of yours. Possibly. I can't say for sure, but you're on the right track. Sadly, there's no way we can test that, so it'll remain a theory for now. The bell rings before we can have any further discussion. Just remember that no matter what happens, we'll both be with you every step of the way, Daniel. Don't give up. That's right. The funny lady proclaims it. I imagine if I told her you're the one in trouble, Aunt Tsubasa would be more than willing to aid you as well. She took quite a liking to you from what I understand. Well, okay, Yuri. Thanks. I guess there's nothing left to do now but go to class. We say our farewells and go our separate ways. It's homeroom again. And, well, look familiar for anyone who played the original Shattered Time? Yeah, so we're bringing this back, since we kind of figured Pathetic Fallacy the day Natsuki died would have been a little too on the nose. But you'll see in just a hot second. Okay, it's homeroom again. I am greeted with the usual sight. Well, minus Natsuki being in her usual spot. As the teacher is about to take roll call, the door behind us opens. Sorry I'm late! I can't say how much I felt like jumping out of my seat right now, but I hold back for obvious reasons. The teacher just gives her the usual death glare as she takes her usual spot. After he's done... Let's see... Okay... I'm guessing after he's done, he makes some announcements about graduation that I could honestly care less about, so I don't pay attention. Yeah, why did I put give there? I don't know, maybe I got confused at some point. After he's done, he gives some, but then gives doesn't even make sense, so. I don't know. When he's done with his long-winded announcement spree, he gives us a free period as he typically has these last few days. As I get up to walk over to Natsuki, I notice a few eyes darting glances at me. Oh, that's right. Even that idiot Jorichiro was here talking about how we look like a couple now. As if she could sense me, she looks my way. Hey, I know you have a ton of questions, but right now, let me just rest a bit. Meet me on top of the roof after class. Stunned, all I can do is nod and return to my seat. I could hear some idle chatter behind me, followed by some annoying giggles. Are they talking about us? As if I needed another reason to hate people. It seems like they'll latch onto anything to gossip about. Then again, that's probably how all those gossip magazines and websites stay in business. Because they just eat this stuff up. And, like... I mean, on the one hand, okay, I can maybe understand, like, being fascinated with celebrities and whatever, but at the same time, I'm just here like... Shouldn't you be worrying about your own lives instead of, like, who so-and-so is dating right now, or who's having a nasty divorce, or something, like... I don't know, me personally, that's why I'm kind of here, like... I don't really see too much of a thing to it. But, well, not much I can do, other than just, you know, just not pay attention, just be like, yeah, okay, like, you guys just do whatever on the side, I'm gonna be over here, and just trying to make sure everything in my house is in order. Thanks to simple-minded idiots like them. Or all thanks to simple-minded idiots like them. I give a soft sigh as I take out some of the homework I have for today and work on it. Time seems to go by slowly as I'm trying to take my mind off everything. I've got so many things I want to say to Natsuki when we meet on the roof later. But that's going to have to wait, and that is killing me right now. Eventually the bell rings, and I wait for all the mindless sheep to pile in through the door. I turn to Natsuki. Alright, let's go. She gets up from her seat and I follow behind her. Her tone earlier sounded very weak and defeated, but considering what's going on, I guess I can't blame her. I'm just hoping all the things Yuri said about Natsuki's aunt aren't true. Please, for the love of God, don't make her life more miserable than it already was. I made this edit. Okay, anyway. No words are exchanged as we go down the hall. I notice a few students sneaking glances our way. Seriously? Don't they have their own lives to worry about? Yeah, well... That's almost exactly the point I was saying just a little bit ago. Then again, like I said, like... I wrote this, so, like... Some of his dialogue, obviously, kind of reflects, like, some opinions I have, like... Yeah, I'll just... As I look over at one of them, I swear I see something. Or someone lurking in the shadows. It almost looks like... No. I have to be seeing things. Then again, I swear I saw that same creepy mask guy before. You coming? Seems I stopped for a moment and let her get ahead of me. Right. Sorry about that. Gone. Maybe I am just seeing things. Natsuki stops as I close the gap between us. She doesn't say anything else as we keep moving. I push open the door to the roof after getting a little ahead of Natsuki. She just gives me a nod and proceeds outside. She's really not feeling like herself. Not even some sarcastic quip or anything about holding the door for her. It doesn't feel right. I trail behind her and let the door slam shut behind me. She walks over to a corner of the fence, holding on to it as she wistfully looks out below. I sheepishly walk up to her. It's Natsuki, yet I'm nervous to approach her for some reason. Sorry I had to meet you like this. I know it sounds stupid, but... I don't want people looking at us. Wait, you noticed it too? How can I? I caught them looking at us in homeroom, and I didn't want to hang out any dirty laundry in front of them. I hope you can understand. No, I get you. That idiot Joricho even called you my girlfriend when I ran into him yesterday. Not like we were out being a lovey-dovey couple or anything, though. Ugh, that douchebag. Yeah, I don't want idiots like him hearing us. Alright. As long as you're not pissed off at me or anything. Why would I be pissed off at you? If anything, you're like one of the only people left who actually gives a shit about me. I saw all your text messages and all your missed calls. I'm sorry I made you worry so much about me. The way things have been, though. I just haven't been in the right headspace to talk to anyone. I hope you don't hate me too much. Natsuki, I could never hate you. I was just worried something happened to you. I mean, you called me in the middle of the night, practically crying. You damn near scared me to death. I'm sorry, alright? You're the only person I had left I could go to. My aunt. Not like I could trust her with anything. My blood turns to ice at those words. No, you're kidding me, right? She turns to look at me, her face on the verge of tears. Is it that bad? Bad? Fuck it all! Just imagine the worst thing you can and multiply it by 10. That old bat is seriously out of her mind. I swear she's drunk like 80% of the time, considering she almost always has a beer bottle in her hand. She makes my dad look like a saint compared to how much she drinks. Oh, hell no. Yeah, you're telling me. At least my dad fed me whenever he could. That old bitch practically never has anything in the house to eat. Then she's got this nasty habit of wandering off without telling me anything. She hardly says a word to me, but if she ever does, it's always about how my mom was a slut and that dad only married her out of wedlock. And how he'd be so much happier if I was never born. How can anyone deal with some insane old lady constantly telling you that you should have been born? You shouldn't have been born. You tell me. The fuck? Wait, so then what have you been doing for food? She turns away from me, her face riddled with guilt. You're not trying to tell me. What other choice do I have? It's either the 5-finger discount or I starve. Do you think I want to steal from some old man at the convenience store? Do Do you think I want to steal from some old man at the convenience store? I swear he probably knows I'm up to something, but he's never called me out on it. It's not even anything good. I've just nabbed whatever small snacks I can fit in my pockets. Even then, it's not enough to fill me up. I had no idea, Natsuki. I didn't mean to. It's not like I want to be some kind of criminal, Daniel, but what else can I do? I'm not saying I don't even have my own room in that house. That old bat hates me and she makes sure that I know it. Then where the hell does she let you stay? She has a guest bedroom, but oh no, God forbid I sleep there. So what does she do? She tosses whatever stuff of mine in the basement while she holds me up in the crawl space beneath her stairs. You know, because that's what you do to someone who's fallen on hard times, especially when they're your family. That old bat can go choke on a toilet seat for all I care. I hate her, Daniel. More than you can imagine. For crying out loud. Is her whole family this fucked up? No, it just seems like her father's half of the family is. Unfortunately, well, I never thought too much about Kaede's family, so... I would like to imagine they would probably be more welcoming to her. At least, like, my headcanon for how Kaede was, but... we'll never know, because, yeah, Kaede technically is written out of the story, and we don't get to know too much about her. If she really doesn't have any other family left, then what else is there for her? I know you probably don't want to hear this, but do you know anything about foster care? Now, this was something that some of our old teammates suggested. And I was even kind of here like, but, I mean, considering if she's 18, does that factor into, like, can anyone take her in? And, well, apparently, what am I trying to say? Apparently, it can factor in, and, like, a family could take in someone over the age of 18. Granted, like, I believe some kind of criteria has to be met. I don't know too much about it myself, but he was basically the one who gave me this idea. Well, okay, fine, I'll just say it. Our former coder was the one that gave me this idea. And he was kind of the one who, like, fed me this information, and I was like, okay, well, based on what you've told me and what I know, then I'll just, like, we'll just have this be, like, something he suggests. But then, of course, you're gonna see Natsuki's reaction to that in just a hot second. No! Why the hell would I? I know she's your family and all. Maybe I can make excuses for my dad, but not that cranky old witch. If that house burned down with her in it, I wouldn't waste any time crying over her. Well then, she obviously doesn't care about you, Natsuki. Why don't you just report her and see if you can find another family that'll take care of you? Like hell I will! How do you know I'll find someone else that'll take me in? And see, that's another thing, kind of like what I said. And then there's the fact that I'm already 18, so most of those families probably wouldn't want to. That's another thing. And if there was someone, who knows if I'll end up in a worse spot than I am now. I mean, they're not all that bad from what I've heard. They're usually screened and checked over to make sure they're actually able to take care of someone, from what I understand. How can you be so sure, Daniel? Besides, it's like I said. It's usually the kids who get taken into those things, so what chances do I have? So what chance do I have? Natsuki, why are you so against this anyway? Well, what if they take me away from you, huh? Did you even think about that for 1 minute? No, I didn't. You're the last thing I have, Daniel. I don't even know what I'd do without you. She's sobbing uncontrollably as she lays her head against my shoulder. Without thinking, I put my arms around her, but not too tightly. Right now, she almost feels like a fragile little doll in my arms that'll easily shatter if I'm not careful. First Amy dies, and then my dad goes to jail, and her date and whatever time we spent is the only good thing that's happened to me so far. Even then, all the time we spent together won't mean anything so long as I'm living with that cranky old bitch. It's no wonder she's never been with a single man before in her life. You have to be just as insane as she is to even stand being around her. God damn it, Amy. I could have kicked myself then and there for blurting that out. Natsuki abruptly tore herself away from me, her eyes widened. Amy? What does Amy have to do with this? What? I didn't say anything about her. Yes, you did. You just said, "God damn it, Amy," just right now. I know what I heard, Daniel. Are you seriously blaming my dead friend over something she had no control over while I'm on the edge of a serious breakdown? Hey, I'm not blaming her for anything because I didn't even say her name. Bullshit. Come on, Daniel. Fess up. What's going on here? What do you know about Amy? Another toast to my big mouth. I can't talk myself out of this. But do I seriously tell her the truth? I don't want her to hate me, but at this point, it seems like she's going to hate me no matter what I do. Just when I was starting to feel alive again, I go and blow it. I take a deep breath and try to compose myself. Alright, I'll tell you. You're probably not going to believe me, though. Oh, really? Try me. Alright, you asked for it. Amy killed herself to save you. What? You were supposed to die on the night of June 3rd. I called Amy and told her how your father was planning to kill you in some fucked up double suicide. That's when Amy took it on herself to sacrifice her life to save yours. What the hell are you saying right now? Are you listening to yourself? I know how screwed up it sounds. Believe me, I wish this was all just some awful nightmare that I could wake up from. It isn't, though. I had to relive that night I don't know how many times. I saw your dad shoot you point blank in the face. I saw our classmates burning alive because of some sick karmic retribution. I even got into a fight with your dad when he caught me trying to stop him. No, you're not making any sense here. It's the truth, though. Amy was the one who sent me back in time to try and save you from dying. In this case, I succeeded in saving you. The problem was, to do so, I needed to make some kind of exchange as part of this twisted ritual she made me do. A soul for a soul. That's all they tell me. Daniel? You're seriously freaking me out right now. I'd be shocked if I wasn't. Are you on something right now? At this point, I wish I was. Then I'd have a more justified explanation for everything I've experienced to this point. Amy died and became a martyr to save your life, all because I made a stupid phone call begging her to tell me how to solve this problem. That's all there is to it. You called Amy? Right before she died? Did you tell her to? No! She made that decision herself! I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen to me. Amy dedicated herself to serving some evil being called Tyrankos, so she was already too far gone to talk any sense into. That's what Yuri told me anyway. That's what I keep telling myself anytime the guilt comes back to haunt me. Deep down, though, I still feel like Amy's blood is on my hands, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't make that phone call. I don't buy it. I bet you convinced her to kill yourself. No! I didn't know what else to do, Natsuki. Your dad was going to kill you. But he didn't kill me, did he, Daniel? No, but I saw him do it in another timeline. He asked you to die with him. He splattered your brains all over the wall. I saw it with my own eyes. Almost like Kononoa. No, I can't believe it. I thought you were the only person left I could count on, Daniel, but in the end, you're no better than all the other backstabbers I ever trusted. No, I didn't! And ever since that day, things just went straight to hell for me. Here I thought things were finally turning around when I met you. I liked you, Daniel. I really did. I feel like such a fucking idiot to admit it now, but I really did. Now, though. Now? I hate you. What? I hate you! No, Natsuki, no, you don't mean... You're saying that you wanted to save me, but all you did was mess up my life even more than it already was. She puts her hand around the pendant around her neck. Puts her hand around the pendant on her neck. Puts her hand on the neck. Oh my god. Puts her hand around the pendant. Puts her hand on the pendant around her neck. Ish. Okay, well. I trusted you. I loved you. Now, I hope you rot in hell, Daniel. No, please. I only wanted to. I don't get to finish that sentence as Natsuki runs over to the fence. She wastes no time climbing up. What are you doing? On June 3rd, it was Amy who died. Isn't that right, Daniel? Well then, today it's going to be me. No! Get down from there! How am I supposed to live knowing my friend killed herself because of me? I'm not going to be carrying that around for the rest of my life. I grab onto the fence and climb furiously after her. She already got a head start on me, though, but I try to close the distance. No, stop! Amy wouldn't want you to do this. Amy only did this because of you, Daniel. I didn't tell her to kill herself. She told me she wanted to die in your place. She's extremely loyal to Taranko, so she's willing to do anything for him. Both of us keep climbing at a steady pace. Damn it, I don't think I'm going to make it. She's not listening to me. I've had it with you and your lies. It's the truth. I know it sounds like I'm full of it, but it's the truth. Yuri can even back me up. Go fuck yourself. I hope I never see you again. I look up in horror as she gets to the top. No, I'm too late. I practically start jumping up against the fence to gain some more height. It's too late. No, Natsuki, come back! She's already plunging to the ground below. I narrowly miss her ankle and instead grab onto her shoe, which starts to slide off her foot. No, Natsuki, I love you! There's only a shoe in my grasp. I let go of it as I hop over the fence and try to grab her. I feel intense pain in my left arm after I jump from the fence. I look down at Natsuki's tear-filled eyes as we both meet the ground with a sickening crunch. Pain. Intense pain. That's all I can feel in that moment. I try to open my eyes, but I feel so weak. I catch a glimpse of my legs. They're bent in a way that doesn't look normal. And then I try to look for Natsuki. What I saw... Frankly, I wish I could put it out of my mind. The absolute horrific sight of Natsuki's mangled body. I kept my eyes shut. No. My voice is barely even a whisper now. No. I feel a cold presence surround me. Then I hear a voice. It is time. No. I can't let it end. Not here. Accept your fate. Not now. Not for Natsuki. She doesn't deserve this. She deserves a much better life than this. Course. I feel myself fade away. We're back to June 3rd. Welcome to Loop 6. Well, internally we called this Loop 5, but it's Loop 6. My head pops up from the pavement I was lying on. I look around in disbelief. Am I back here again? I get up and check my phone. Oh my... Sheesh. It's the night of June 3rd. It says so, clear as day. I look down at myself. My body isn't as mangled as it was before. Almost as though it never even happened. I shake my head as if it'll clear my mind. What am I surprised about? Natsuki's man... Oh, it's like she got a man now. Okay, no. Well, obviously, if she did have a man, this mod would definitely take on a whole... It would be a completely different story. It's like, now it's basically, you're trying to save Natsuki from her boyfriend who's evil, and... You know, that actually wouldn't be a bad idea for a mod. I don't know if I'd be able to write that mod, and who knows, someone watching this video might just go ahead and take this idea. Anyway, what am I surprised about? Natsuki's old man beat me up before, and I came back without a scratch after I passed out. Right after I saw that creepy masked guy with the antlers. And I know I saw him back at the school, too. I know it! Well, no point thinking about it now. If everything's been reset, then Natsuki should hopefully still be alive and well. I proceed to walk through the gate like I've been doing the last however many times and go through the motions. What's even the point, though? If Yuri's right, it seems like Natsuki is going to suffer no matter what I do. Not like making her drink some sleeping pills will fix anything either. I already learned that the hard way. I'm at my wit's end here, and I've got no idea what my next move should be. I take my place at the kitchen table as I mull over my remaining options. Calling Amy is out of the question. Calling the police is definitely out of the question. I know I seriously considered killing Natsuki's dad, but then I might as well be sending her back to her aunt. And most likely with some additional emotional trauma she'll never heal from. I'm running out of ideas until I think back to the whole soul for a soul deal. Could I technically just murder any random person to fulfill the terms? Wait, why am I even considering that? I don't want to kill anyone. Then again, every time I've tried to loophole myself out of the rules of the curse, something happens to bite me in the ass later. Damn it all. There's no winning here. No matter what I do, someone is going to end up miserable. In most cases, it's Natsuki. With that logic, I might as well be the one killing Natsuki myself. Not directly, of course, but it's like every action I take leads to either me or her suffering in some way. I'm not going to even think about just killing Natsuki either. I want to save her. This is kind of a jab at ending 5 of the original Shattered Time, where MC just... He literally, without any warning, kills Natsuki. Why? Well, apparently the logic was that he got so damn tired of going through the time loops. And he figured, I'm doomed, you're doomed, let's just get this over with. And to this day, I hate that ending. I still hate it. Our former coder, though, apparently that was his favorite ending out of the whole mod. So, like... Yeah, and... I think the fact that, like, ending 5 was his favorite and ending 6 was mine, I think that kind of tells you more than enough about, like, where he wanted to take the story of the Perfect World Anthology versus where I wanted to, and... Also keep in mind, the Perfect World Anthology, that was like my brainchild. All these mods, like all these ideas for the most part, they're all me. I came up with this overarching plot. I have like certain story beats that kind of need to happen in each mod, and they all happen in a sequence of events, even though like even though they take place in their own little universes, they're still like a sequence of timed events. And he basically, like, not only did he want to ruin that, but he wanted to steer it in a completely different direction from where I wanted it to go. And yeah, so long story short, after he exchanged some very unpleasant and frankly hurtful words about my writing abilities and how I was apparently holding him back, he departed the team. And then he tried to work on the Twisted World mod, which was going to be the 6th mod instead of Forlorn Heart. He tried to work on it on his own, without me. Basically like, okay, well, it's not going to be part of your Perfect World anthology, so I'm going to do whatever. And then he gave up on it 5 months after. So, yeah. So it's kind of like irony at its finest. But anyway. Not only is it cruel, but it completely defeats the purpose of what I'm even doing here. And kind of why, like, yeah, why did that ending have to go into the game? Like, I don't know why it's there, but... well, it's in there. Well, then again, there were a lot of things in Shattered Time and Captive Heart that he did that I wasn't even aware of, or... that I wasn't aware of, and or didn't approve of. So, yeah. And even if she hates me, I don't want to do anything to hurt her either. I'm still not entirely sure if I love her or not, but I'm pretty sure killing someone you're in love with isn't something a sane person does. Unless it's like some kind of Valentine's Day horror movie, where it's like either, I love you, now I will stab you. Or alternatively, why won't you go out with me? Stab. I might as well just get out of here and go through the motions until I can come up with something useful. This loop is going to keep resetting until I do something right. Might as well make use of the time I've got. I get up from the table, or as I get up from the table, I decide to check on Natsuki one more time, just to make sure she's still okay. I know you hate me and never want to see me again, but I have to make sure. I'm going to save you somehow, Natsuki. No matter how much you hate me. Why am I so hung up on that? Because you really were in love with her. And when she told you that she hates you, it broke your heart. Even if you're not willing to admit it to yourself. At least that was kind of the mindset I was going for with this scene. Like, the reason why Natsuki's, you know, angry shouting at him about how, like, I hope you rot in hell, I hate you, I hope I never see you again. That hurt him so much because he loved her. And, well, like, well, I don't think I don't think I need to explain any further. I quietly tread upstairs, and I gently open the door to her room. There she was, sleeping peacefully in her bed, unaware of what awaits her tonight. As if drawn in by a magnetic pull, I make my way over to her. For some reason, I feel overwhelmed looking at her again. She's okay. Her body isn't some mangled mess on the concrete. Everything really has been reset. I swear I can feel tears welling up in my eyes. As stupid as it sounds, this almost feels like something out of some storybook fairy tale to me, just seeing her resting so peacefully. Then again, is it because I'm happy to see her okay? Or is it because the last thing she told me was she hated me? For some reason, those words hurt me more than I thought they would. Whatever. There's no point in me staying here. There's also no point in me ever talking to her again. Even if she doesn't remember me, it would just be too painful. it would just be too painful. I can't look at her without thinking about our not date and seeing her jump off the roof. I slowly back away, hoping not to make a sound. I take one last look at her and take my leave, gently shutting the door as quietly as possible. Let me see, I guess. I take one last look at her and then leave. So, and then leave. I feel a huge relief just getting to see her one more time. But then I also feel a weight on in my chest. Whatever, that's not important right now. I only wanted to make sure she's okay this time. I want to do whatever I can so nothing happens to her. I failed Kodonoha. I will not fail Natsuki. I promise I'll figure out something. Just hold on, Natsuki. I hope I don't make you wait too long, but I'll figure out something. As I'm heading back to the entrance, a familiar voice calls out to me. Wait! Don't go! Natsuki, what are you... Before I can even finish that sentence, Natsuki rushes up to me, pulling on my sleeve as if to keep me from floating away. Please don't go, Daniel. You came here to save me again, didn't you? Huh? Wait, how did you know? She lets go of my sleeve and takes a few steps back. I'm left in awe as she reaches around her neck and reveals a small pendant. The very same one I gave her before. You gave this to me, didn't you? Yeah, I did, but that's in a future that never happened. Yeah, I know. And yet, I can still kind of remember everything. I never told you, but when I'm wearing this, I feel a lot safer inside. I know it sounds stupid and whatever, but just having this around my neck and knowing that you're here, I just feel so much happier inside. You remember everything? Bits and pieces, but I think I get the gist of it. I thought you never wanted to see me again. You said I was a backstabber. And you specifically said you never wanted to see me again. And you're supposed to hate me! You even said so! Yeah, I know! I know what I said, and... it was wrong of me, okay? I was just so angry at you, and I just lost it. I wasn't even thinking about how saying that stuff was going to hurt you. I got so caught up in the heat of the moment, and then... I don't know what came over me back there, Daniel. I felt like I wasn't even in control of my emotions back there. I felt like I could see myself doing all that stupid crap, knowing it was wrong. But I wasn't able to stop myself from hurting you. You seriously scared me back there. Yeah. I know I never should have said any of that hurtful stuff to you. I know it was pretty stupid of me to jump off the school roof. I know. Although it was pretty stupid of you to come right after me. Well, what were you expecting me to do? I wasn't going to just stand there and let you fall to your death. I had to do something. Huh. You idiot. You don't know how much it means to hear you say that. I know you're trying to save me, but you can't. Who says I can't? How do you know for sure? She produces a pink notebook from her arm and opens it to a specific page. Take a look at this. She presents the notebook to me and I nervously take it from her. And here we are, The Curse of Tyrankos. In the original, apparently this confused some people, so consider this a revised version of it. The Curse of Tyrankos. Take 2 bracelets of gold and silver, link them together. These will form the chains of Tyrankos. Slide your left arm in the silver bracelet, and your right arm in the gold one. Hold your arms out and chant 8 times, Tarankos, I've come to bargain. In doing so, you will have performed the curse correctly, and will briefly lose consciousness before awakening in your desired time and place. You are now effectively the host of this curse. Because this is a curse, it forces you to relive a certain period of time forever until certain requirements are met. Make sure to act as per the rules of the curse set out by Tarankos. Deviating from them will result in you losing something dear to you. Which, well, it almost did. Like I said, in the original, Tarankos did basically set his house on fire with the mom still inside. This time, in this game, well, he sets the classroom on fire, and then he makes MC think that Mio, one of the very few friends he has left in the world, was in there. And then, well, he's obviously here like, do you want to test me? Because I can go ahead and set your house on fire. Anyhow, the number of people who will die on a specific day is fixed, so there is no way to change this. An exact exchange must be made with no exceptions. A soul for a soul. No more, no less. There is no way to remove the curse effectively outside of meeting the requirements as deemed by Tarankos. The only way to end the time loop is for the curse's host to make the correct decision. Even if the user's host unwillingly meets their demise or forcefully dies at their own hand, the curse will not be removed and the loop will resume from the initial starting point. This decision is irreversible, and it is cautioned that it must only be made if the curse's host is willing to make said sacrifice to ensure the well-being of their target of interest. This is fortune cookie nonsense? No, well, yeah, but besides that, this is the answer I've been looking for. How did you get this? Or how did you get this? Yuri said she was having trouble finding any info on this thing. Natsuki has a solemn expression on her face. She doesn't say anything to me. After all this time, I've got the answer I was looking for. It's written in fortune cookie nonsense language, but I've got it. And yet... So look, Daniel. No matter what you do, the amount of people who are going to die on a specific day is already set. If you're going to save me, someone else has to die, so that much is true. If you so much as stray away from those stupid rules, you're going to be in for a bad time, to put it lightly. Oh no, don't worry. I already know that firsthand. If you remember when I said I saw our classroom burn down... Yeah. Oh, right. So then you must have screwed up big time. Don't rub it in. So basically, it's almost exactly like Amy said, but not as cryptic and vague. Why do you even have this, though? She had this determined look on her face when she stopped me. The moment I asked her that question, though, her determination seemed to fade. Her voice gets softer as she speaks, and she seems to have trouble looking directly at me. Let's just say there was someone I felt bad for when I found out he died. I mean, when they died. Something seems a bit off here. Considering this stupid curse is disguised as a way to save someone's life, I can assume she had someone in mind she wanted to save. Why is she being so hesitant to tell me who, though? I made a stupid decision, and I have some experience with this myself. The point is that no matter what you do, you're locked in. I'm chained to fate. I'm chained to fate. I'm trapped by the chains of Tarankos. Both of us are. I didn't even realize it until after you gave me this pendant. I started to remember everything, and once you mentioned that name, it all started to click into place. This whole world, this whole time loop, it's all just some big phony illusion meant to torture the poor sap who falls for the curse in the first place. Yeah, I guess that means we're both the poor saps here. She looks down at the ground, nervously tapping her foot against the floor. She wants to say more, but I know she's not going to tell me directly. Was it Amy who told you about this? Natsuki gives a sad nod. It's not your fault. She probably left out the part about this being a curse. Conveniently. She sure didn't tell me this was a curse. She just made it sound like a friendly ritual meant to grant you some kind of happy wish. Yeah, that's how it was with me too. She didn't sing you some song to make you do it against your will, did she? No, why? She then gives me a mocking look as I turn away a little. No. Don't tell me. Ha! Hey, well, you're in the same boat as me here, so I wouldn't be so quick to start laughing. Fine, you got me there. Look, since we're both just kind of stuck here, why don't you stay here with me? Huh? Please, don't go and leave me like this, Daniel. Everything just feels better now that you're here. Even if we are stuck in some endless time loop, could you just try and stay here with me? Natsuki, you do realize what's going to happen if we go against this, right? Why are you being so... You can come and see me every day now, and we can spend as much time as we want. While ignoring how every day is going to be June 3rd and 4th. You're seriously all I have now, Daniel. Now that I'm starting to remember everything, I don't think I can even trust Amy anymore. But you, though... Her face grows red as she chooses her next words. Your constant visits, and the fact you care so deeply about me is all I have left that keeps me going. I would probably lose my mind knowing what I do now and not having you here with me. I don't want to be alone, Daniel. I don't think I'd be able to handle that. It seems like now she's being more direct with me than she has before. I know we both said we loved each other, but before... I know we both said we loved each other before we... Well... But I don't know how much of that was genuine, or just from tensions running high. At least, in Natsuki's case, for sure. In my case, I still don't even know if this is love or not. I'm dragged out of my head when Natsuki drops her notebook and grabs me by the sleeve again. Come on, Daniel, please. Don't make me beg you to stay. Okay, now you're just being ridiculous. Are you seriously going to make me do it? That's not what I'm saying here. Men. Alright, now you're just being... Please! Please, 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 please! Natsuki, get a hold of yourself! Yep. Remember the original, for those who do? The hopping Natsuki makes a comeback. Good grief. She stops abruptly, looking as if she was snapped out of a trance. I never thought I'd see her jumping up and down and begging me like a 6-year-old. You know I would like to stay here with you. I really would. You're forgetting the problem here, though. If you're bound to the same curse, then if we so much as take one step out of line, there's no telling what could happen to us. Damn it. Right. And so what? Are you saying we should just run away and try to avoid Tyrankos as much as possible? I don't know if you've met him, but I have, and let me tell you right now. He's not the kind of guy you can just avoid forever. He can see almost everything. Even if we manage to avoid him for a little while, he will find us eventually. And you can bet he will make us suffer. I know you're right, but I'm so sick of this. I wish I could just use my lawyer talk and find some loophole out of this. This guy isn't your average everyday con artist, Natsuki. He's got powers you can't even imagine. And an aura that just sends chills down my spine. Not like we could go after him with modern-day weapons either, from what Yuri told me. That's the second time you mention her. What's she got to do with this? As long as you keep this to yourself, I'll tell you. She doesn't like anyone knowing about this. Daniel, just tell me already. Man, you're so grumpy. She and Kodonoha are descendants of some kind of cult that worship Tyrankos. At some point, however, her family realized he was pure evil and escaped from him. Even though their family members were branded as traitors, that blood still flows through their veins. I never knew this about Kodonoha, but Yuri was the one who gave me a lot of this information, as well as the pendant you're wearing. Natsuki takes a moment to look at the pendant and then back to me. And now I'm on a horse. Okay, no. That pendant is crafted from something called xanathoid metal, which is immune to whatever magic Tyrankos has up his sleeve. Wait a minute. She picks the notebook up and opens it to the front page. There's a paperclip resting there like a bookmark. Amy said this paperclip was made from xanathoid metal. Amy said this paperclip was made from xanathoid metal. No clue what the hell that meant, though, and not like she told me either. That might explain why that notebook survived time looping. Why'd she give it to you, though? I was having issues understanding this whole thing about the ritual, so she was nice enough to tell me. I wrote down whatever she told me, and then she put the paperclip in my notebook. After that, she told me to never remove it, no matter the circumstances. I wasn't going to question her, but she sounded super serious about it. And yet, she still made some parts of it super vague just to mess with you. I'm guessing by the time she... Okay, I guess this is a bit of a glitch. By the time she wrote this out for you, it was too late. Or I guess, by the time she told you all this, it was too late. Because initially we were thinking of like having Amy write it down in her notebook, but then we kind of figured, well, just to kind of make things easier on us, and because it would sort of make more sense to just have Natsuki write everything down in her notebook that Amy tells her. At some point, she took both of my hands in hers. I looked down at her small, dainty hands clasped in mine. I reciprocate and clasp them back, but not too much. As silly as it sounds, I can't help but see her like a fragile doll that'll break if I'm not careful. This feels... amazing. I'm shocked when she pulls her hands away and takes a few steps back. Her face is bright crimson with a sad smile on her face. Without warning, she drops to her knees and that smile vanishes. Tears start streaming down her face. Daniel, do you want to know why I even got myself wrapped up in this stupid crap in the first place? I'm almost afraid to ask, but I think I deserve to at least know that much. Well, it was because of you. What? Me? What did I do to you? No! You never did anything to me. You were always so nice to me, Daniel, so that hasn't changed. It was because something happened to you. The teacher said you died, but he wouldn't say anything beyond that. Now it's my turn to fall to my knees. What am I even hearing right now? How the hell would I have died? Natsuki tries to hold back her tears and maintain her composure as she continues. When I heard all that, I didn't know what to feel inside. Sure, we didn't talk a whole lot, and I didn't know you all that well, but for some reason, even from the moment I first saw you, I felt there was something about you. I felt different around you. Not only that, but Kodonoha made you sound like this great guy, and I believed her. After we spent so much time before, I can say without a doubt that she was right. We had so much in common, and I looked forward to seeing you, and I just... She pauses for a moment. It's kind of hard to believe Kodonoha built me up like this in Natsuki's mind. Personally, I don't see myself as anyone important, but hearing her talk like this about how she feels around me... I was always afraid to go and talk to you. Even though Kodo made you sound like a great guy, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not only that, but even though she's not around anymore, A part of me felt like it was wrong for me to talk to you. Wrong? You never saw the way her face lit up when she talked about you, Daniel. Even if she never said it to me out loud, I think it was kind of obvious. She was head over heels for you. Me? I feel like I just got stabbed in the chest. After all this time, you're saying someone as beautiful and classy as her had feelings for some pathetic loser like me? You're not a loser, Daniel! Stop saying that about yourself. It's like I said before. Any girl that says you're creepy or whatever is only doing that to make themselves feel better. I didn't know how much of a great guy they were passing up on. Go to know I loved you, Daniel. I feel myself erupt into tears. All this time, and I never knew it. That's why I felt awful even thinking about going up to you. No matter what I did, all I could think about was you. Daniel, I'm crazy for you. Even if Kodo isn't here anymore, it's not like I wanted to steal you away from her. It just didn't feel right to me, and I just... Yuri's words popped in my head. I try my best to calm myself down, but I don't have much success. Still, I think she needs to hear this as much as I did. You wouldn't be stealing me. It wouldn't be an insult to her memory. The same way she would have wanted me to move on. I think she would have wanted that for you too. Huh? You were her friend, Natsuki. She knew. She knew you wouldn't have been trying to steal me away from her. She wouldn't want you to be as miserable as I was without her. You mean she would have been okay with what's been going on between us? I think so. If anything, I think she'd be happy knowing she brought us together. You know, Amy used to make fun of me over the way I'd look over at you. She'd tell me you and I would be some gloomy little couple and get married and have a ton of gloomy children. Both of us aren't crying so much anymore. Both of our faces turned crimson at that little revelation, however. So even then, Amy was shipping the two of them. Thinking about it, my first impression of Natsuki was that she hated me, or couldn't care less what happened to me. All this time, I was totally wrong. When the teacher said you died, it actually hurt me inside. I couldn't understand why, though. Even thinking about it made my chest hurt. That's when Amy stepped in and told me about this silly ritual. After I failed to save you a few times, I went back to her and wrote whatever she told me in that notebook in case I forgot anything. She reaches over to feel for the notebook right beside her. When I finally questioned what I was feeling, she told me it was because I loved you. I didn't believe her at first, but after everything we've been through, I think she's right. Knowing that you did the same thing for me, and that you're so willing to keep showing up to make things right, it makes me glad knowing there's somebody out there that cares so much about me. Cares with an S. After calming down, I get back up and make my way over to Natsuki. As I'm doing so, she started crying again. The reality smacks me harder this time. We really are in the same boat right now. We're trapped in some endless loop of bad decisions and suffering, all because we wanted to save someone. Each other, no less. I crouch down and meet her at eye level. I know I said I hated you before, but I don't. I love you, Daniel. I honest to God love you. Oh, Daniel, I'm crazy over you. You're seriously all I have now. I can't trust Amy. I can't trust Dad. Mom is gone. I I brush away the part of her hair that's in her eyes. Those striking pink eyes look up at me, stained and glossy with tears. Natsuki. She tries to stop crying the more she looks at me. Those eyes. I have no idea how much pain and suffering they've witnessed. I probably just as much as my own eyes have, if not more. Upon looking to my own eyes, hers soften, and she looks at me with a sense of yearning and bliss. As if our bodies are acting on their own, our faces draw closer together until our lips meet. At this moment, it's as though all time stops just for us. Words can't begin to describe what I'm feeling right now. I can only imagine it's the same for her at this very moment. We pull away after what seems like an eternity and look at each other once again. She gently caresses my face, running her hand to my lips. She smiles at me and starts giggling to herself. What's so funny? Nothing, I've just never had a boyfriend before. Oh, well, seriously? Don't tell me that after all that you're just going to... No. I've just never had a girlfriend before. Okay, you're just going to. Not even Kodanoa? I never told her how I felt, so we were never officially a couple. That's kind of why it's so weird hearing you call me your boyfriend now. Well, get used to it, because you're going to hear it a lot from me. We both laugh as we hold each other close. We're both caught off guard when we hear someone else laughing along with us. Someone very familiar. I look back to see Amy right at the stairs with a bat behind her back. Except this time something's different. Wait, those eyes. I wonder, just how many times has it been now? Tell me, Daniel, just how long have we been at this game? A week, a month, a millennium? Amy, what are you doing here? Wait, why do you sound like that? No, that's not Amy. I know that voice anywhere. You're... Tronkos! Do you know what it is you desire? Do you still not understand? No matter how many times you try to turn the hands of fate, you will always arrive at the same result. That was the lesson I intended to teach in this ritual. Clearly, you both fail to grasp the concept. Where do you get off telling us that? If you both still fail to understand this after having gone through it so many times, then your struggle and suffering will continue infinitely. We both get up and back away. I keep Natsuki's hand in mine as we both look at Amy together. Alright, what have you done with Amy? I have merely commandeered this vessel for the time being. You should be honored, for it is not too often that I grace others with my presence in their home dimension. So in other words, you're just using Amy as a human meat puppet right now. If one were to put it so crudely, then yes, that is correct. I cannot leave my prison, but I can borrow a vessel in times like this. And what do you mean by that? Do you truly fail to understand what is taking place here, even after I stated it as clear as day? Very well. You have both broken the rules of this curse, and you know too much. Now, I must deliver a swift punishment to ensure that your little rebellion ends here. What are you going to do? Maybe Amy caught me off guard before with that surprise bat to the end, but I'm ready this time. Are you seriously going to beat up Amy? Ugh. Yeah, I know it's not right to ever lay your hands on a woman and all, but... Ugh. Okay, fine. Even if it's Tarankos, it's still Amy. Don't worry, Mr. Gentleman. I'll just have to give him a piece of my mind personally. Wait, are you sure? I might be little, but I'm scrappy. You underestimate me, Natsuki. Amy raises his hand and then makes a crushing motion. Natsuki suddenly starts crying out in pain, tearing her hand away from mine. She holds onto her head with both hands as she cries out in excruciating pain. I crouch down to her. Get my dad! No need to bother. Tarankos releases his grip and Natsuki topples over, gasping for breath. I made sure he would not interfere. He still lives, if that is your concern. He will merely be sleeping a bit longer than he anticipated. What did you do to her? One of my favorite curses. I was simply delivering to her a bout of mental torture to make her think twice about her actions. As I said, you underestimate me. Just because I am not in my own body right now, does not mean I am lacking in my abilities. On the contrary, Amy still has latent magical abilities that I am able to tap into. You're insane! I prefer the term creative. I take Natsuki up in my arms and try to help her back up. She seems to be doing better now. She props herself up against the wall as she looks at the possessed Amy. What were you expecting me to do, Daniel? Allow the both of you to run away to live in an endless summer of freedom in making love endlessly. What? The fuck? Is that Amy's perverted mind corrupting you, or are you just as fucked up as she is? My apologies. Perhaps you are right and her quirks are seeping through. No matter. My point still stands, Daniel. And now, your rebellion ends here! I have to think fast. If only I could reset the loop somehow. Maybe that would give us a little bit of time. Wait! The curse will still be in effect even if I die, right? If that's the case, I've got an idea. A stupid idea, but what choice do I have? If this works, then it won't be any different from reloading a save state. I rush into the kitchen. Daniel, stop! Where are you going? Desperate times. Desperate measures. I look in the dirty dishes and pull out a metal fork. As Tarankos approaches, I go to the nearest electrical socket and stick it in. Returned by death! Daniel, no! Natsuki's scream echoes in my head as 1,000 volts are sent coursing through my body. I can't let him hurt her. I won't. I'm sorry, Natsuki. I would love, more than anything, to run away with you. I'd love to be in an endless summer with you close to me. But that can't happen so long as he's got his eyes on us. Even worse, if he's following us around in Amy's body. He's right. Even in this endless summer you're proposing, Natsuki, this paradise you're thinking of will never be free. And that was technically like my favorite ending in the original Tainted Love. No, Tainted Love doesn't exist anymore. That was my favorite ending in the original Shattered Time. And, well, you can probably see like why I did everything I could to go all out on it. One sort of criticism I remember was when someone said that they got to this ending, and then of course Amy shows up being possessed by Tarankos, and then he says a little bit of things You know, the whole thing of if you keep turning the hands of fate expecting a different result, blah 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 blah, and then the thing just ended there. So, in addition to trying to put more emotion into that scene, I added onto it a bit. To where, okay, well, now it doesn't just end abruptly, but obviously the threat of Taranko still remains. Now you know that it's like, he can go after you now. He can just use Amy as a puppet and, like, go right after you and do whatever the hell he can. So, yeah, that presents a bit of an issue for him in Loop 7 here. But, yes, considering how emotional that was for me, and considering we're at the start of a new loop, I think it is best to leave it there. So, now, next time we're going to see what exactly our next move is going to be, now that we sort of know how the curse works. But anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever else I do. Stay golden, and later, folks.